So as a solo laner, basically what you want to do is you're going to start out with your the biggest clear first. You're going to start out against your matchup. You're going to look at who it is, and you're basically going to build off of that. So Osiris, what I would think is I would say, okay, Osiris is like he can be auto attack based. He's going to build some defense. I want some physical defense, right? So that's what I'm gonna build, and then my rune, you can get teleport glyph is really good on a lot of solo laners. If you think you're gonna die and you need to get back to lane to not lose farm, you can use that. Blink is really good for late game engagement. I can get a horrific and slow him down in his attack speed if we're like getting to the very end. I can maybe get a horrific emblem and it's like that. I can either chase him down with it, or he can't attack as fast if he's also building attack speed, so I can do something like that. Normally I would start here and I do all these camps, but I'm just going to go straight to lane. Viz, if you want to do that too. Or do your
You don't
blue
want to start
buff.
on blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
There is a ton of different starts for a solo lane, and a ton of different starts per god. So that is something not only to talk about later, but something to mess around with when you go practice on your own, because there's a ton of ways to do things at the start for a solo lane.
Yeah, so basically as a solo laner, I want to out clear him, so I'm going to do that. So now that I have the lane pressure, I can get the minions on him, I can disarm him. I can just start attacking him. I have the
I actually
pressure.
had
I
to
can
drop
pop
him
my
like
horrific so
crazy.
he can't run away. And I'm going to kill him here with this. And now I have lane
My
pressure.
FPS is just fucking tanking. I don't know why.
So as a solo laner, if you get the early game pressure like this, instead of sitting here and attacking tower, you want to be doing anything else that you possibly can. So really, you want to be doing totem while he's gone to get this extra XP and stuff. You want to be going over here and doing scorpion when it's up. When the lane comes back, you come back and clear it. You don't want to miss any minions here at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with this. I'm just going to heal up because I have Death's Toll and the ability to heal. See, I have lane pressure on Viz. He has to kind of stand back. Now that I have this, what I can do is I can go over here. And if these camps are up while he's dealing with that stuff, I don't have to worry about it. He's going to take damage. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to start farming up in here, stealing farm from their jungle. This is an important part of solo, is to get fed and get ahead. That's really the thing. And to put other people behind, too. So I'm going to go back to lane. See how, I haven't missed a creep, but I was also able to get an extra XP camp now. That just puts me ahead. I heal off of every single basic attack that I do, so really it's advantageous for me to do that.
Man, I'm lagging like crazy. Look at this. I'm just teleporting everywhere.
Ooh. Kill him, come back here, do this, clear the minions. So really solo lane is just about trying to outbox your opponent, clear this wave. It's very simple. And then now look, as soon as I'm done with this wave, I'm doing the scorpion.
Also, I should not have thought that right, because if you press tab quickly, Giraffe, you can see my build.
Tap.
Press tab quickly.
He has
Yeah, you
boots.
can see my build. I've got T2 boots, right? So I'm on a low point in terms of power spikes. I'm very weak.
10 physical
So,
power, 12 movement speed. He doesn't have defense against me.
What Giraffe wants to do is, if he sees that I'm at a weak point like that, he wants to try pressure me. See if he can fight. Even if he takes 1 or 2 tower shots, he's a solo laner. He'll be fine. Got plenty of HP.
Yeah.
He wants to really make me hurt when I'm behind, and that way I won't be able to even slightly get a lead on him.
So there's a point right now where I have a lot of gold. I can go back and get full boots because he just got his boots. I can go back and get full shield. What I can do here is I can steal his blue. Solo lane, if you're working with your jungler should be dropping your blue at this point. You can drop their blue. So I'm going to drop this. I'm going to get this. I'm going to miss a minion wave, but I'm going to go back and get my power spike. So I can choose, if this is working for me, I can get it. If I have full boots, I can get it. So I might just get this. Get back to lane. So for solo, as you can see, it's basically just outboxing your opponent. Don't be afraid to go in here if you're getting fed. If you're doing really well, go in here and take their stuff. You want to just farm and get as much XP. And if you take these camps away from the jungle, they're also going to be behind your jungle. So it's like a twofold sort of thing where not only are you farming and getting extra XP, like you're putting their jungle behind too. And once you get to a certain point, if you're that much more overpowered, you can then start rotating over into mid and just doing stuff over there. So
As a
this is
note,
yeah.
because
Go
I'm a
ahead.
jungler, if your jungler is in base or coming towards left side, please don't take their camps because then you're going to get your own jungler behind, and a lot of people have been doing that recently. If your jungler is say on right lane or if they're fighting mid, then feel free to take the camp because that will respawn before they even get there.
Yeah. So as you can see, I just went over. I took both of these. I'm able to get back in time to get this wave that he's gonna have behind him. He's at half health. I'm at full health. Like this situation that I have here, even though there's gonna be minions and stuff, like I'm probably gonna go in pretty hard. So I'm gonna clear these guys real quick, box him out, do that, stun him. Yeah, so he escaped. That's good. So this will just turn into a solo match if we don't move on from here. But basically, this is solo lane, right? You're just 1v1ing. You'll get a jungle that comes in and gank. If you're really scared of it, you can get wards and place them in spots like here.
Should get awards. Should.
You should be warding
Yeah.
anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, not if you're scared.
You should be warding like right in here because this is where the enemy jungle is going to come like the majority of the time to come gank you in solo. They're basically going to come through here and gank you if you're up in their tower, or they're just going to try and come back here and gank you. Even at like totem, if they're really deep in your jungle, you want to be warding like right around here. That'll be super helpful. So for mid, let's go over to mid real quick and we could kind of talk about the strategy of mid. So it's good because there's a wave right here right now.
Switch to mid lane gods because my PC is just frying this game, so I'm just gonna give it a quick restart. Take me about 10-20 seconds.
Yeah, we
Do you
can
wanna switch
do
to
that.
some
Well,
mid lane gods just so we can show off some things like obviously red that you mentioned earlier.
yeah,
but
let's
you
do
can't take
that.
that by
Let's do
itself.
that.
Well, do y'all have
Give me
any?
10 seconds.
Do y'all have any questions on the general basics of the solo lane?
Or like god matchups or builds and stuff. Like builds we can get into like later and stuff, and that sometimes is like there's a whole thing where that can take like
It's a
days to
whole different
explain.
story.
Yeah, we're just trying to get you familiar with the Conquest game mode itself and like each role in it. So for solo lane, does anybody have questions even about like matchups or like what you should be doing if there's like a certain situation?
How would your build have differed if you were doing a more ability-based god like Odin or King Arthur or something?
Oh,
Yeah.
I got this. Sorry, I got this. I love talking about like builds and stuff. um, a lot of it truly is matchup the dependent. Now gods do have kind of general basic builds, but also it might need to change depending on who you're facing. So someone like a King Arthur, a general build to like start out it's like bluestone into boots into like stone of Gaia. That's been a general basic build for an ability god like in King Arthur. But if you go to someone like Achilles, who's also a bit of ability based, his is different. His is gonna be something like maybe a bluestone into a shifter shield. So it's all dependent on the god that you play and your matchup. But that's also something that is a that we can dive in deeper sometime later when they talk about builds and in-depth builds.
Yeah, so solo is very matchup dependent. Like mid is gonna be less unless somebody has like hard anti heal or hard healing or something like that. Like you really don't vary your build as much. There's a very core group of items you build on mid lane and stuff that you should be building right now. So we'll go over all that stuff. Um, ability based versus auto attack based. There are certain items that help with abilities versus that. Like you saw, I was getting Death Toll and Berserker Shield because it works on Bologna. Because with her 3, you heal off of the third hit. If you're getting Death Toll, you're also healing off of every single hit. You can build her attack speed based, and she feels really good. But somebody like King Arthur or Odin, there are things where if you're going to build tanky, you can build like Glad Shield and things like that, where you're getting a damage per ability based on your defense. There's things like Bluestone Pendant, which is really good on those kind of gods right now. It does a lot of damage because of their kit. Like King Arthur's just ability after ability, you're just spamming them running around. Um, those sorts of things. So each god, there's nuances to each one, and then you also have to look at your matchup. Like you need to counter build the person in the like on the other side there.